Hey everybody, Mike Fifer, Fifer Hobby Supply. Today we're out here in the ACT and I'm going to show you what I've gotten done lately. This is going to be update 57, and above all, happy Easter. Hope you had a good one and enjoy the video. Okay people, so here's what we have. We have the little peepholes all the way down the layout. Starting with this one, and if you look in there, you can see the loop. And if you look in this one, wherever the camera is, if you look in this one, you can see the track going up in the back, and you can see the two tracks that are on the bottom level. If you look at this one, you can see the two tracks and the track going uphill. Now if I lift it up like that, you can see the other track is back there. So you can see three, actually you can see four of the levels. You can see the level up going both directions back there. This is a good hole right here. And this one here, you can just barely see a little bit of the uphill track going to my right. And you can see the two lower tracks. And the next one down here, you can see the two lower tracks, and you can't see the one going up. But you would be able to see if there was a train off the track back there. And then here we have some newspaper in the way, which I have to remove. But you can see a good part of the loop here. So you can tell where the train's going around the loop. So, and my LED light string, let me put my hand up here. It ends right about here, and I could pull it back if I wanted to, just a little bit more, but I don't think I need to, because this is the last point. I like this. It turned out well. You won't be looking in those all the time, but you may have a need to look in those. So what I will likely do, or maybe do, probably just leave them on all the time. When the layout's on, those lights will be on. No big deal. I want to see how bright they are when the layout light is off. It's kind of bright, but I'm not sure it's a distraction. Because if you come over here to the hole, and you peep in there like a peeping Tom, you can see the tracks, and you can see the train going underneath. I like it. Plus, you can see where it does let you see where you're walking. I think I like it a lot. Glad I had the idea. I keep trying to figure out, I was trying to figure out where this reflection is coming from right over here, but it's coming out of the side of this hole over here. So I'm going to have to lower that rope light down in there. If I lower that rope light, if I pull that rope light down, you can, it still shines on the fascia. It's okay. Now I don't know whether I'll need to do it to the, we lost a lot of light. But I'm not sure we're going to need to do it over there on that side. That thing is pretty cut and dried, and there's a lot of it you can't see. And the mainline trains don't run there. If I get back over here where we have some light, I'll go back over and turn the lights back on. Woo! That's bright for sure. Okay. Of course, that all needs some touch-up. Need to sand around the holes, paint gray around the holes, and paint whatever's close inside gray. But aside from that, those are done. And I didn't make too big of a mess. I did have to cut some pieces of foam, little squares out of some foam. In fact, you can see it right there. I had to cut little squares out of the foam to get the light cord through. This one here did not require any cutting because the foam stopped before it got there. But you get the idea. It just lays on the light just lays on those little stringers sticking out. I mean, that worked out just perfectly, almost like I had planned it that way. Okay, gang, I have all this track that I tore up, ballasted all the way down and around the corner. I do not have it stained yet, but that's the next thing to do. And before we have to go to Easter dinner over at our son's house, I may be able to get that done. Let me show you what else we got. Okay, I also had this painted, and I now have it ballasted all the way back there. Okay, everybody. Tentatively, this is how it's going to be. We have the yard tower over here. This track right here is a caboose track. Got my arm in there, but that's a caboose track. As you can see, there's an ash pit over there, which means that this is a locomotive servicing, steam locomotive servicing facility, because we have the coaling tower, and we're going to have the talking water tower. I know, everybody bitches and moans. But anyway, we're going to have one. I have two of those, and I'm going to put one somewhere else out on the main line, probably down at the other end. You can see that we have a couple of powerhouses back there near the engine repair facility, which is there. The car facility, repair facility, is there. We have a place to put completed cars or completed locomotives, whichever we choose. We have an outside pit over here. We still have room along here where that stuff is sitting for fueling facility, and stuff for fueling facility on the other side if need be. And if really need be, I can move that track over. So, but I'm going to have a fueling facility come hell or high water, I've decided. So you can see what we have. The two tracks into the repair shop, storage for repairing locomotives, a in-ground repair facility on the outside, which I will likely build a pole barn type cover, just a cover over the top of that if that works out. But I have got to see how my fueling facility and everything's going to fit in here. Now, given as we have a fueling facility in here, there was two things that I thought may be really cool to put over here. How about the Texaco Fuel Depot? Think that would be logical. And what else might go in a place like this? Scrapyard. I could combine the scrapyard and the fueling facility in there. And I could put the switch right in here. So that's a consideration for right now. That would give me a place to put those two facilities, and that would be logical. And I could actually build a couple of oil storage tanks over in here for Santa Fe. So a little storage building there. There's all kinds of other little things that could go in here. But right now, this is my thinking down here. Let's see what it looks like when I get down off the stool. Here's pretty much at viewing level. Of course, it's all just sitting there mocked up, you know. All of that part between those buildings and probably over where, not where the coaling tower is, but just to the left of the water tower, would all probably be concrete. That would be filled in with Smooth It or something of that nature to make all of that level. Probably way out here, at least right in the middle right here would probably be level. and then around the that level would go around the outside of the water tower and so forth. But anyway, that's kind of what I'm thinking about right now. This is what you would see when you came in the layout. I spent, you guys may know from the other video, but I spent an awful lot of time on that car repair shop. It's got a traveling crane inside there that I cut down and modified. Both of those buildings are just packed with detail. There's a welder in there welding on one of those trucks that's covered up with a tarp. There's a ton of detail. Hang on, let me get the camera down here. And let me get this wire out of the way. And see if I can get in there. You can't really see in there, but there's a rack in there. There's all kinds of things in there. So when those are lit up, that's going to be way cool. Have some yard lights around here. Have to level up the yard tower. But I think they could see the whole yard from there. So I think they could supervise yard operations from there. So that's kind of what I got going on right now, guys. Well, I found just a few structures, and I just set them out there. To the Texaco plant, and parts to the scrap yard, and parts to the diesel fueling and sanding. And they're all just sitting there, but I'm sure I could figure out a way to work them in. So I think more than likely that's what I'm going to do. Honestly, for right now, that's about it. Like I say, down there is just a mock-up because I have to pull all that, not all that stuff, but I can mark it. I can go over it with a Sharpie where the track goes and take the buildings off and stuff, and then paint the track, and then I can put the track back in, level it up, mark where the buildings are, and yeah, we'll be on our way. I like that down there. Let me give you a shot from up here. And then I think the Conoco dealer, the Texaco dealer and the junkyard would be very good down in that area. I think I told you that I plan on building a road across here. Well, actually across here. And then weave over there and across. And then it would go down to those things. And this large area, or this area here, is going to be the Santa Fe parking lot. So there's a theory here, or there's a plan here. And then the road that's over here, let me see, over here is going to go down here, and then it's going to turn off the layout here. I don't know, Gavin tried to talk me into putting the crossing right here, and I may do that. And then put the other crossing over there, and then go back in there. That way it would look like it all ties together, which would kind of make sense. So one of the two ways is what we're going to do. And the clock is striking 12. We have to be over to eat at 1, so I guess I better get my poop together and get out of here. Okay, guys, I was able to stain the rail. Stained it all the way back down there, even where there wasn't ballast. And while I'm walking down this way, I did get another quart of paint, so I was able to touch up around the holes I drilled. So the edges of the holes are all painted and the gray touched up. I touched up some spots where I had gotten some, like my belt buckle had scratched it or whatever. And that's all touched up, and I got all of this going down that way stained. Okay, one other thing that Robin has been bugging me about, not bugging me about, but she said, and everybody else seems to say, is this green door does just not cut it in here. What's behind the green door? The yard. if you're old enough to remember all that. But anyway, what I'm planning on doing is painting the door, the upper part of the door, the blue color. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this stuff off the wall, and right from that corner where the fascia is gray, I'm going to do an odd, like the fascia is, painting over this way and probably under the, I don't know, it doesn't matter. But then gray around the corner and gray uneven across the top of the door, down this side of the, let me get back here, get my finger done, quit focusing on my finger. Anyway, gray up and down along here, behind the gun, until I get gray back over there. I think that would look cool. And then just a gray band, straight band across here. Just do that with tape until I get right over to the bottom of there. By the way, I bought this little light here so that I can have light when I'm doing airbrushing. I had a lack of light there, so I found it at Lowe's, and it seems like it's gonna work well. I'm gonna run the cord back behind and hook it up back there, and all kinds of stuff. You can see all my other junk sitting down here. Well, there you have it. It's the little bit that I've gotten done here recently, and things seem to be really coming along now, and I'm probably really going to start getting into it. So hope you enjoyed this one, and as usual, thanks for watching.